So hi, I'm Amy, and as you know, I'm the Digital Marketing Executive within Professional Development. And today I'm talking to one of our associate tutors, William McKee, looking at the intention behind delegation and whether this leads to it being successful or not. So hi, William, how are you?
Hello, yes, doing well, doing well. All things considered, what a strange 3 months.
I know it's been a very testing and challenging 3 months with a big shift to virtual for us, which you've been a part of, haven't you?
Yeah, which I've really enjoyed. I didn't think I would, but I have really enjoyed it. So something
Good.
positive.
Good. I thought it'd be quite nice to give a little introduction to you. I mentioned that you've been teaching on some of our virtual courses, but I thought you might like to introduce yourself and we can get to know you a little bit more.
Okay, so once upon a time I was a civil engineer. Now I'm a business psychologist and executive coach, and absolutely an associate tutor. Very proud to be an associate tutor within PD. Been delivering the CMI level 5, and I'm lined up to do the level 7 and some of the coaching courses as well, and a few other bits and pieces over the next 3-4 months. So all very exciting.
It is very exciting. You recently did a blog with us around the dark side of delegation, and I think that is quite a nice point or a place for us to start really in terms of delegation. So I will hand over to you and you can talk to us through your blog around delegation really.
Okay. So I mean, what's your reaction to the word delegation, or what's your what meaning springs into your mind when I say delegation?
To me, the act of delegation is the placing of activities from, say, your manager down onto her team or his team members. Yeah, it is. It's that active activity giving to your team.
Okay, great. And what, I mean, does it fill you, if someone says, "Oh, I'm going to delegate something to you, Amy," does that fill you with absolute joy? Does it fill you with utter dread, or is it somewhere in between?
It's somewhere in between. I think if it's a task that I've done before and I'm quite confident in my abilities of doing it, then yes, I'll take it on. But if it's a task that I've not really got that much knowledge around, then it is something that I think, okay, I'll do a little bit of research on this, have a go, see how I get on, and if it's not quite right, I'll try again. But it's
Okay.
having that guidance from my manager that would really help.
Yeah, and there's I mean, we could talk for hours about delegation. I'm not going to, but we could. But yeah, that's really interesting, and it's right on the thing that I wanted to talk about, because there's a vulnerability when you delegate something to someone,
Mm-hmm.
and there is this kind of passing of a requirement, a need for something. You're getting a task to do, and there's a risk involved with that. It's something potentially new. It's
Yeah.
something you can make a mistake with. So there's all that going on that we need to pay attention to. And I think there's loads of people delegating, there's loads of people doing a really good job of it. But the thing that I think often doesn't get talked about that makes the biggest difference is the intention that sits behind the delegation. I've been there, there's people that I've spoken with that say, yep, I recognize that. Lots of people have been delegated to,
Mm-hmm.
and there's been poor intention from the person doing the delegating. And what I mean by that is they're not really that interested in setting the other person up for success. They're
Yeah.
really just wanting to get a crap job off their desk. Maybe they can see it's under-resourced, it's not going to work out. And
Yeah.
instead of dealing with that themselves, they just slide it to one of their people.
Does happen more often than not though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it conditions people because they go, well, I don't really fancy having anything ever delegated to me again because I was set up. And so I think gives it a bad name.
Mm-hmm.
People delegating with poor intent. And then I think there's two other places the intention can come. So there's like a very functional kind of managerial and a little bit your description, which is sort of allocating tasks. And that's like a very sort of cognitive way of doing it, which is just there are an amount of people, there's an amount of work, and we just need to sit the work with the people to get the work done because there's more work than I can do personally as the manager. And that works, and that's great. It just misses, I think, the sort of the golden dust, if you like,
Yeah.
which is the more sort of leadership approach to delegation, which is to say that my intention is to get lots of work done because that's the power of delegation. I can do more through other people than I can do myself. But the intention is to develop my people rather than just assign tasks or get
Yeah.
work done. So as a leader, I'd be thinking strategically, where do I want this person to be in 6 months? Where do they want to be in 6 months? What are the skills, the capabilities, the confidence? What does their growth look like? And then what are the things that I can delegate that's going to support that growth?
Absolutely, and I understand that 100%. I mean, it is from a leadership point of view, when it does come to delegation, you have to have that bigger goal picture in mind to say, okay, how is this person going to benefit from doing this task? Is it just purely going to benefit me, or is it going to build our team and their strengths to help them reach where they want to be, or where I see them being in the next however many months? It does fit with a lot of personal development plans, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a wonderful way to put it, that bigger goal that sits above it. And I'm not saying that's always going to be possible. Sometimes stuff just needs to get done.
Yeah.
But the idea would be that by having that positive intention, people will react well to that. They'll see, oh yeah, okay, you just need me to sort this out. It doesn't serve a bigger purpose at this time, but that's fine, because I know that as the leader, if I'm working in your team, you've got my back, if you like, over the longer term. That's really the key thing. If there's loads and loads of really good delegation happening, I'm very sure about that. I'm not saying that he's delegating well, but that would be the challenge. The challenge from me to people that I work with would be, how are you thinking about people's development when you decide what to delegate, when, and how?
And that's, it is something that all leaders should be thinking about, is that, like we said, that bigger picture on delegation. So just to round this off very nicely, if you had, a few tips or a few best practices for leaders who are delegating to possibly make their delegation a bit more successful, what would you say they are? Well, what would they be?
I would say if people are reluctant to be delegated to, don't blame them. Have a think about why. And it might be that you're paying for other people's mistakes. Maybe they've been set up for failure in the past, and it's not you. It's just a bit of a hangover you're going to have to work with. But I say don't be put off as well. It's. I thought what was really lovely about the way you spoke about it was you said, actually, if it's something I haven't done before, and there's a risk. You're introducing a risk to the other person, and so it's natural that they might have reservations, or they might have, that their personality will interact with that risk in different ways. And so it's really just about consistently supporting your people.
Absolutely.
That would be the big one. Really just keep at it. Keep at it. Have great intent. Have the intention to develop your people, and keep at it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very, very much for your time today, William. I did point out at the beginning that William has written a blog for us around the dark side of delegation, which you will find a link to this in our bio. So please, if you've got 5 minutes, head over there and read it. But like I said, thank you so much for your time. It's been great talking to you and learning a little bit more about delegation.